Hey everyone, it's Beth. I am the Fitness Princess, and I'm here today to help you try to figure out what you should change in your pantry. I'm not in my pantry today, but I am in my kitchen, and I'm excited today to discuss with you what I changed for the first time when I started this healthy lifestyle. Now, let me back up a little bit. I started my health journey in 2013, almost 4 years ago, and if I could go back and tell myself something and give myself a little bit of advice, this is what I would say. I would tell her that nutrition is so important to this lifestyle. If you want to make your lifestyle healthy and you want to lose weight, I would tell her that you have to focus on your nutrition over anything else. And so when I get questions asking me about healthy recipes and then they say they don't have those ingredients, they don't want to make over their pantry, I have to gently remind them that this journey is about changing your nutrition. If you want to see changes, you have to be willing to make those changes, and that starts first in your pantry. So yesterday I talked a little bit about reading labels. I talked a little bit about trying to get the sugar out of your diet. And so the first thing that I did, well, let me tell you this. I cannot tell you what is healthy or not. I can only share my journey. And so what I did was I went through my pantry and I asked myself, what is the one thing that I use the most? And it came down to my spices. And so I went through all of my spices and I looked at all of the ingredients and I was blown away with how many spices had sugar in them. For instance, I used this steak seasoning for the longest time. I got it at Aldi. I love Aldi, and I will put a plug in there if you are wanting to save some money on groceries. Aldi is your go-to place. This steak seasoning I thought was fantastic. But the more that I learned in my research of nutrition, the more that I found out some of the ingredients I did not want to be consuming. This does not have sugar in it, but it does have sunflower oil in it. And I questioned and I asked, why does steak seasoning have sunflower oil in it? It doesn't need to have sunflower oil in it. So actually, this is expired and I haven't used it in a very long time, and I only used a little bit of it before I quit using it. Another thing is I have a bunch of these, or I had a bunch of these packets of seasoning in my pantry, and I went through all of them to look through the ingredients, and a lot of them had sugar. Taco seasoning was a huge culprit of that, and we use taco seasoning a lot because hello, Taco Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every day of the week. And this one actually, brown sugar bourbon marinade for pork chops. Ultimately, it has brown sugar in the title, so it's going to have sugar in it. But it has brown sugar, it has sugar, and it has molasses. So that's 3 types of sugar in it. And this is also expired. I haven't used it, obviously. So I had to go through all of my spices, and I got rid of all of the spices that had sugar in it or things in it that I was not okay with putting in my body. When I want to flavor something, I want it to be just that. I just want the spice. I don't want anything extra in them. So I started making my own taco seasoning. I started making my own ranch seasoning. If you follow me for long, you know I love my taco soup. And ranch seasoning is in that recipe. And for the longest time, I could not find an alternative that was healthy. And ranch is not very healthy at all. And so I finally did find a recipe for that ranch seasoning, and I'm going to put it in my blog post, so if you're wanting it, just hold tight, I will get that to you. But today I want to share with you my taco seasoning recipe. I'm going to make it. I'm going to show you how easy it is, because yes, it's easy to go down the spice aisle and to pick up one of these packets of taco seasoning, but it is just as easy to make it from home, and you know exactly what is in it, and you know exactly what is not in it, and it's good for you. So, my recipe has a tablespoon of chili powder, 2 teaspoons of cumin, a half a teaspoon of onion powder, a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, a half a teaspoon of dried oregano, a half a teaspoon of paprika, and 1 teaspoon of sea salt. And it's that easy. It really is. It's a matter of, I think it takes more time to put it in the bowl and mix it together than anything. But I usually quadruple this batch, and I keep it in one of these little jars, and I have it labeled. I know that's probably backwards to you, but I have it clearly labeled, sits on my pantry, and I make more when I'm out, and I am almost out. So we're going to make that today. I'm going to show you exactly how easy it is, and I'll let you make your own if you want to. So I'm going to tilt this camera down here to show you what I'm doing. So we're going to start with the chili powder. I'm just going to put a tablespoon, a little more than a tablespoon in there. That's fine. And then I am going to put in 2 teaspoons of cumin, and I actually have 2 teaspoon measure. I just kind of add a little extra too. And then a half a teaspoon of the onion powder, a half a teaspoon of the garlic powder, a half a teaspoon of the oregano, a half a teaspoon of the paprika, and 1 teaspoon of sea salt. I actually use the pink Himalayan salt. You can use sea salt or whatever. And I just mix it all together. I mean, it's really easy. It smells really good. And it tastes better than the packaged stuff. You know exactly what is in it. And it's good for you. And then I will just put it in my little container. And honestly, that's all there is to it. It's that easy. You can make as little or as much as you want. It keeps for a long time, especially in one of these sealed containers. And I mean, really, it's that easy. It's super yummy. And I would say that about 3 tablespoons, I season a pound and a half of beef with 3 tablespoons of the taco seasoning if I'm making taco salad or tacos or something like that. So my spices, that was the first thing that I changed that got me on the healthy wagon, and I want to share a couple of other spices that I do really like. Mrs. Dash has a line of spices that are really good. I know the glare is kind of bad, but this is a garlic and herb seasoning blend, and some of hers you kind of have to look, make sure you read the ingredients, but this one has nothing to be concerned about, and I do really like this. I season my broccoli with it. I like to add a little something to my broccoli. And then Flavor God is, they're online, and you can get a whole ton of their seasonings. They have everything you could ever imagine. But the one that I use the most is called Everything, and I literally season everything with this. Pork chop, steak, hamburgers, so I can replace this unhealthy, nasty pork chop, and I think I even have some hamburger seasoning in the pantry. I can replace that with this Everything seasoning, and literally onions, garlic, sea salt, chili pepper powder, cumin powder, coriander powder, paprika, black pepper, basil leaves, parsley flakes. That's all there is to this. But they also have a garlic lovers, which is really good. And they have Everything spicy, so if you like that extra little kick, that's a great one. And then lemon and garlic. And then they also have a pizza seasoning, which I've tried, which is really good. They have a chocolate donut, and that one is, use it, you know, in your food freedom. It's not something that I'm going to use every day, but the chocolate donut is good. They have a ranch seasoning. They even have, I think, a cheese flavored one, and so much more. So you can look them up on either Facebook or their website. Again, it is Flavor God, and I really trust them with their seasonings. I got like the 6-pack of the different samplers or something like that. I don't remember, it was a long time ago, but I will link all of that in my blog as well. So, oh, and my ranch seasoning, I just keep in a little jelly jar in my pantry, and it keeps really well. So those are the first things that I changed when on this healthy lifestyle. Sugar isn't everything. You have to really be aware and really read your nutrition labels as far as the ingredients. If sugar is in the ingredient list, it is an added sugar. You do not want added sugar in your food. So if I could just, I mean, that's one thing that I will tell anybody and everybody. Sugar is something that we should not be consuming in the quantities that we do. It is very unhealthy for us. So if I can just encourage you on anything at all, it would be to read your labels, specifically your spices. I could not believe how many spices I had that had sugar in them. So I hope that helps a little bit. It kind of get the ball rolling for you. I would encourage you, give you a challenge today. Go to your spice cabinet and see what in your cabinet has sugar in it. What should you replace? And start thinking about those things. You don't have to replace everything today. You don't even have to replace everything in 1 week. It can be a slow process, but start thinking about it. Start writing down the spices that you use the most and what you want to clean up. So that's my challenge today. Let me know how it goes. Let me know if I can help you with anything. If you need some ideas for spices, let me know. I've got almost anything and everything you could imagine. I'd be happy to help you with that. So let me know how it goes. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.